What's up, everybody? I'm your host, Richard Prophet, the Last Dragon, and we're coming to you from the beach. And tonight's video is going to rumple a few feathers, going to stir up some controversy in some people, but I really don't give a damn. So let's roll the best intro in the watch game, and we'll get into it. Cheers, fam. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. I'm Richard Prophet, the Last Dragon. And yeah, man, so tonight's video, if you're over 50 years old and you're wearing a cheap watch, don't give me no financial advice. You know what I mean? Like, I don't give a damn what you're saying. Keep your advice to yourself, man. Nobody... You know, I'm even going to go as far as to say over 45 years old. And, you know, you're wearing a cheap watch and you're trying to give out financial advice. I mean, what is wrong with you, man? Your life to this point has been, you know, pretty much a collection of poor decisions. You know what I'm saying? You're 50 years old and you're wearing a cheap watch. Like, you're a young guy, you wearing a cheap watch, okay, I understand you haven't, you know, done your thing yet, made your mark. But if you're 50 years old or over, you wear a cheap watch and you want to talk finance, man, I don't give a damn what you're trying to say. The only thing that you could tell me, the only thing I want to hear from you or listen to you about is the what not to do crowd. You know what I mean? You're part of like the what not to do posse, because I don't give a damn you know, what you think about real estate, or what you think about stocks, what you think about watches, what you care about nothing. You know what I'm saying? So today I'm walking into Whole Foods. I see a guy, middle-aged guy, and he's walking out with his bags or whatever. And you know, he's got like, he's got like his own plastic bag, like from the DXYs or whatever. He's got two little cheapy plastic bags from like another store, and it's because the Whole Foods, when you go in and you get your groceries, whatever, they'll charge you like a couple of pennies for a bag or whatever. And then he's wearing like a Casio watch, man. I'm talking about a middle-aged guy, 45, 50 years old. I mean, you're 50 years old, you're wearing a Casio, and you're bringing your own plastic bags to Whole Foods because you don't want to spend 5 cents. I mean, and you giving out financial advice. You're doing terrible. You know, you're suffering, you're scrimping and saving. You know, that's not a life that I want to live at 50 years old. At 50 years old, you wearing a cheap watch. Keep your financial advice to yourself, man. Because at this point, your life has just been... a slew of bad financial decisions, right? And even if you say, hey, Prophet, but what about the guy, he owns his house and he's just saving, and he's got his 401k, whatever, he's got good credit. Look, I made another video about that. If you got an 800 credit score, you got a 780 credit score, whatever, and you're punching the clock, you're doing something wrong. You're doing something wrong. If you're on the next man's time and you got an 800 credit score, and you're a middle-aged guy, I mean, what are you doing, man, with your 401k? What you're doing with your 401k is that you're hoping and you're praying that someone else will take your money and invest it, make themselves money, and kick you off a little bit because you don't have the wherewithal to make your own investments, make your own choices, you know, make your own sacrifices, you know, show your own discipline. And of course not, you know, you're 50 years old, you wear a cheap watch, so, you know, you make terrible financial decisions. I don't want to hear anything that you got to say about anything related to anything financial. Anything monetarily related, shut your mouth. Tell that to somebody that doesn't know anything about anything. I don't care about what sticks you smoke. I don't care about what watches you like. I don't care about you think real estate is overpriced right now. I don't give a crap about nothing you're saying, about how a Grand Seiko is just as good as a Rolex. Listen, man. Listen. A Seiko is not a Rolex. A Nicaraguan is not a Cuban. And a DXJ plastic bag is not a Whole Foods bag. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, so, it really irks me when a 50-year-old man with a cheap watch wants to sit down and give out real estate advice, man. I'm on the beach. I don't, that's why, they say Rolexes will get you in the room, whatever, start the conversation, because these are conversation starters. You're wearing a beautiful watch, you're wearing a good watch. People think, okay, you might know something about something. Let me hear about what you're talking about. So that watch will get you in that room, What you talk about, your subject matter, will determine where the conversation goes, but that watch will get you in the room, And a Rolex wearer is a guy that can be in a lot of rooms, because pretty much whatever field he's in, dependent upon his watch, it will show the level he's at in that field, He's wearing a steel landlord watch, he might be, very good in that field. Now he's got a solid gold landlord watch, he might be fantastic in that field. He might be leading the way in that field. Now, if he's got the Apex Predator on, he's pioneering things in that field. The field has, owes him a debt of gratitude, pretty much. Like myself, for instance, when I started in Miami, when we started buying properties in Miami, multifamily, there were no comps. There were no comps in the area for the buildings we were buying. I created the comps. In the area. I got with the appraiser. We sat down. We went, we did a couple of things that, let's just say, were unprecedented because there were no comps in the area. So in 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, when your buildings, when your multifamily doubled in Miami-Dade, you got Richard Prophet to thank. I did that. I created the comps in Miami-Dade for multifamily housing, not single family, multifamily. I did that. I created the comps. And we're going to do that same thing in other parts of Florida. If you are only the initiated, you know exactly where we're talking about. Check that out. And follow me on that, because the comps aren't there now, and that's the same thing I did in Miami. I'm buying there, we're buying there, and we're going to create the comps. My new company is going to create the comps in that area. If you're only the initiator, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, Miami-Dade owes me a debt of gratitude because I created the comps in that area. I don't care who you are, from the biggest investor to the smallest investor. The rising tide lifts all boats, so you got me to thank. Whether you're a big, huge company, or you're in this small group of individuals making investments in multifamily Miami-Dade in 2019 or after, you got Richard Prophet to thank. You're welcome. Just give a little like under this video and we're even. So the name of this video, if you're over 50 years old and you're wearing a cheap watch, don't give out any financial advice, man. Because, your bad advice could be ruining somebody's life. You could be changing the trajectory of that person's life with your bad advice. Like, I used to know a guy, we're not friends anymore, but when I was just starting out, and I didn't know much about real estate because it was trial and error for me, and we was just learning. I had problems with evictions, this and that, problems. getting workers. His advice would always be flip a crib, flip a crib, flip a crib, sell a crib. And, and I ended up selling one or two or whatever. But now looking back in hindsight, that was terrible advice. That is something you never do. You don't buy high and sell low. That's the opposite of how to get rich. You don't do that at all. Isn't it buy low and sell high? Isn't that what you do? So when things are rough, you don't back away and get out. You lean into the market when it looks like it's rough and it might not be working. Everybody's scared. Everybody's running out of the burning building. You lean into the market and you keep buying. That's the way to get rich. But of course, that's not the advice he was giving out. He wore a Casio. He wore a cheap watch. And that was the financial advice that I was exposed to. So here, I'm going to give you the truth, man. That's why I made this video public, because this is a video for everybody to hear. Some people are going to get pissed, but like I said, I don't give a damn. If you're over 50 years old, you're wearing a cheap watch, don't give out financial advice to anybody. You aren't qualified. And, you could be doing great damage to people that actually listen to your bad advice. So do yourself a favor, do everybody a favor, do the world a favor. Keep your bad advice to yourself, unless you're telling people what you did so they can do the opposite. So that's pretty much all I got to say about this video. I'm your host, Richard Prophet. I'm on the beach. If you want to know where we're investing in the beautiful state of Florida, which there are no comps in multifamily there, and I'm going to change that. I'm going to turn it into, the same thing we did for Miami. I'm going to do it there. If you want to find out where that is, go to the OTI, go to the join button, look around. If it's something that feels right, something you want to do, make an investment in yourself, hit that join button, man. Join the initiated level, and I'll be quite honest with you, it will change your life. It will change your life. You go there, you look around, it's something that feels right, it feels like it's for you, hit that join button, and I promise you, it will change your life, man. It's just things that I've learned around, along the way, man. Things that have cost me, probably millions of dollars worth of mistakes and experiences. I'm giving them away there on Only the Initiated. All right, so the gem I dropped on you tonight, I hope you appreciate it, and I hope you heed this warning. This is a warning. Don't take any advice from somebody 50 years old wearing a cheap watch. No financial advice. I don't know if they know how to work out or whatever else they're talking about doing. Just don't take any financial advice from anybody 50 and above wearing a cheap watch. All right, I'm your host, Richard Prophet. Every Sunday night, we own the night. Saturdays, OTI owns that night. And thanks for watching. I'm going to go jump in the beach with your girl Cookie right now. And we're going to frolic in the beach. All right. Oh, hold on, man. I wanted to add this. Hold on a second. Oh, those people, those guys that see a topic and they'll Google something and they'll come up and they want to talk about that, acting like they know something because they read it on Google, right? And they think it's right because they read it on Google, not knowing that in the real world, that what Google said has no real world application, right? Google might say it's right, but that in the real world, you can't do that, right? So, yeah, man. That's another thing that pisses me off about these guys. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You're wearing a cheap watch. You're 50 years old. At this point, your life has been an accumulation of bad monetary policy, really. You know, or a life of scarcity, right? Instead of trying to live in abundance and creating more in your life, you're so worried about saving money. Instead of worrying about increasing your top line, increase your top line. Increase your top line, and the bottom line will take care of itself. I mean, especially now in today's climate, you save money, you're losing money. So, like, I got another friend of mine. He goes, "Oh, I gotta save more money. I gotta save." You don't gotta save no more money. You gotta make more money. You gotta make more money. And he's a guy older than me, and I hate his monetary policies. But whatever. I mean, to each his own. He's still my boy, but that's how that goes. So yeah, an accumulation of bad monetary policy up to this point. All right, so, and the Googlers, don't forget the Googlers. You want to Google something with no worldly experience. You're Googling something that has no real world application, and you're just Googling it. Come on, man. Come on. All right, I'm your host, Richard Prophet, the Last Dragon, and we're out, man. Van life in Miami. Van life. Van life. Van life. Cheers, family.